All right, you guys, welcome back to the channel. This is Talks with TJ. This is another news and reviews video. Let's jump right into it. All right, y'all, I'm going to dedicate this entire video to MS.Netta. MS.Netta in the BET Awards, MS.Netta and now her rivalry with Hillary Sanchez, and MS.Netta and wrapping up the whole Craig situation. So I'm glad I kind of recorded this video probably like a week and a half out since the BET Awards and this whole MS.Netta fiasco, because she's now went on live to try to clarify why in the hell she wasn't on the red carpet event and how this was her only interest. So from my understanding, they go out to LA, right? They were supposed to be attending the Cardi B and Sexy Red concert, and that hair and makeup was supposed to be for them at around 6 p.m. Hair and makeup never showed up. They never made it to the concert, so they end up going on a tour. And that's where we saw Charles Rolandis recording basically them doing the LA tours of Beverly Hills and Santa Monica, etc., the little bus tours or whatever. And they got the same joints in DC. So she eventually, after I guess that tour, she goes to Pinky's. They did a video of Pinky's of them trying the hot dogs. They're just doing really touristy shit. And then I guess the next day is supposed to be the BET Awards. They tried to show up for the red carpet event. They tried to get inside the BET Awards, basically was not allowed in. Now, the story behind that is that back in March, their management team had told them that they were going to try to get them tickets to the BET Awards or get them access to the BET Awards. And MS.Netta explains that basically she only wants to go to the red carpet event. She doesn't really want to go inside. She just wants to do that event. So as time goes on, I guess her management was reaching out to a new publicist that they pick up, which happens to be Roy Thompson. Roy Thompson owns a restaurant in Arlington, Texas called Pinky's Restaurant. Apparently, that is a restaurant/night lounge. I'm going to include the Instagram for that in the picture of Roy Thompson. So apparently, he's not only a restaurant owner, he's also a publicist/manager. I don't really know what that's about. But get your hustle on. And she basically calls out her management and basically calls out Roy for getting the mix-up for her not being able to fucking attend the BET Awards. And in this like video, she did it, I believe, 2 separate times I've seen it, where she was in the car once clarifying, and then she was with Charles Rolandis clarifying the mix-up that happened along the BET Awards. So I guess time comes down, and like I said before, they eventually was not able to go. And that's how her story went. My personal thing is that she lived in the land of Delulu. I don't believe that she had legitimate management. I believe that their management was, how can I put this without offending people? It was a very like, not LA, New York management. It was very like Atlanta management. You know what I mean? So we're like hanging around a lot of D-list stars or like very like communal based celebrities. It wasn't nothing mainstream. Let's put it that way, right? As they are from Alabama, a small town, I'm assuming in Alabama. I don't think there's any major cities in Alabama with like populations superseding 1 million people. Or metropolitan areas superseding 1 million people. So in that regard, I understand why like the management, quote unquote, was the way it was. She said that she eventually part ways with management. She said she had no problems with her manager. She had nothing bad to say about him up into the BET Awards, had them meeting people that they never would have met and done the things that they never would have done if they were freelancing on their own. Now, she did fault Roy Thompson for a lot of the things, saying that basically that this kind of like fell on him. And he was kind of giving them false promises about a lot. So apparently she was supposed to have her birthday party at Pinky's. She did. And that she was supposed to roll up in a horse and carriage and do a whole Cinderella theme, and that didn't happen. And then she said that she was going to have a Rolls Royce as another option, and that didn't happen. All in all, she ended up pulling up in a fucking Uber. Then she said something about Charles having his birthday party in St. Louis, and then it jumped to Texas, and they all went out for him, but they didn't go out all out for her. I don't know what that was about. I was like, I don't know why he would have his party in St. Louis and then Texas. I get the Texas part because of the Pinkies, and I guess that's their publicist slash manager slash everything. But yeah, she kind of like ran over that story, and I guess that didn't make, not I guess, that shit didn't make no sense whatsoever. And I was kind of confused about that because I was just like, well, what in the hell does your birthday party have to do leading up to the reason why you to do BET Awards? But I'm guessing she's saying that these were the faults that she should have seen prior to this event. Again, like I said before, I don't think that the issue was management or it was a mishap. I just think that she lived in a land of Delulu. Coming from her wearing the fake designer was Delulu. And then she went back and said that we never said that this was real designer. We just put this shit on and y'all made the comments. And I'm like, no, boo, you were going around making videos, gifting fake shit to your family members. You were talking about the shit that you were purchasing. You was doing unboxings on shit that was not real. We all seen it. So let's not do that. And during the entire video, like I keep jumping around, girl, it looked like Rolandis was sitting there like, this bitch is fucking lying. Like, I don't know what the fuck she's talking about. And you can see it on his face. Now, that's my personal opinion. But yeah, that whole, my nose is stuffed up. Y'all gonna hear me like sniffling and shit throughout the entire video. But that whole situation was honestly a hot ass mess, right? And that leads me to my next point with Craig. Craig was calling her out on her Delulu for a while. And y'all were saying, oh, Craig is just bullying her. Craig is misgendering her. So Craig, if you guys don't know, is on, I can't say that word on YouTube talk. With T.S. Madison. So MS.Netta was actually invited on the T.S. Madison show. It's not called the T.S. Madison show, but I can't use that word on here. Basically just like clearing up the air on a lot of things. And one of the things that MS.Netta mentioned was that she is not like really associated with the LGBTQ community. Like she's just kind of like doing her own thing. She's always had this persona. MS.Netta is a character. She never once said that she didn't want to go by Joe. That's just, you know, she's always had like a feminine style, right? So my thing is that I think in 2024, we kind of left the term cross-dresser behind, where there was just men who like to femininely present, but still identify with men. You know what I mean? I guess that's like Fish now, or those are like femme queens. MS.Netta's not a femme queen. She's maybe like a butch queen. I wouldn't say butch queen, because maybe like I'm a butch queen. But, shit, I'm not a butch queen, girl. I don't know. I don't think she's butch queen, but like maybe like that's what we've turned that term into. But she's basically, in my eyes, like coming back into like the era of the 90s. She's a fucking cross-dresser. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's no shade, there's no tea behind that. But she is a man who wants to present effeminate qualities, but still go by him. Like, it doesn't bother Joe that you call him Joe. I don't think it bothers Rolandis that you call him Rolandis, because they both said that that shit was a character. So the whole misgendering thing, I think we also associate being like femme with being trans, with being cross-dressing, and they all into one, which are all three separate things, which I just explained cross-dresser. But trans is underneath the assumption that Joe does not want to live as a man. He feels like he is a female, so he's going to present as a female, which is MS.Netta. But MS.Netta, like I said before, is a character. Joe is just Joe. So no, they did not misgender him in that regard. That's just, and he said it before, that he did not want to be attached to that. Now, I'm going to use he and she when referring to Joe or MS.Netta the way I see fit, because again, we never got a clarification really on their pronouns, right? And obviously we know Charles is a he, etc. But back to I'm saying, Craig was clocking that T for a long time. Craig was clocking that T for a long time, and y'all were like saying that he was basically bullying her. Now he did crack a couple of jokes, but that's Craig. Craig funny as fuck. Like the rest of y'all on this internet that was talking shit about MS.Netta, I'm reading like the comments in the live as I'm going over this before I posted this goddamn video. Y'all are tearing this bitch up. And y'all are probably the same people that are talking about some old Craig is doing too much. No, y'all. We knew what it was. We knew what it was when Charles and MS.Netta first came on there, and everybody was making like parodies of the parody itself. And I think Joe fucking knows that too, and that's fine. Girl, it was crazy. It was crazy when they did that goddamn liposuction and goals and fucking Rolandis came out with that 6-pack of buttered rolls and that goddamn too small. It was crazy. It was crazy. MS.Netta's body is crazy. I am not trying to fat shame. I'm not trying to body shame, but she knows that shit's out of pocket. Rolandis knew that them built-in 6-packs. Them built-in I can't even get the fucking word out. That built-in 6-pack was fucking insane. We know that, right? To an extent, I think we've like moved to an era way too sensitive. Like low-key, let's bring back shame. Girl, let's low-key, like that shit kind of gets everything in line. Like, girl, you know you're not supposed to be out here looking like that. You know you're not supposed to be out here looking like that. But yeah, back to the Craig thing, like. And then when Craig did his final read, when MS.Netta finally responded, he did it in, I guess, such a classy way. But girl, I'd rather for him to nitpick. I'd rather for him to nitpick. I'd rather for him to hit those low hanging fruit and make us laugh, because the read, the read was developed in such a way where it would hurt a bitch feelings. Like, first, that shit was shits and giggles. And then it turned into like, yeah, no, bitch, I'm better than you. Like, don't ever get that shit twisted. I'm doing this shit for shits and giggles. Like, y'all bringing that shit to me, I'm going to eat this shit up. And that's what the fuck I do. But don't ever forget, bitch, I'm college educated. Bitch, I'm wealthy. Like, you're not me. I didn't like that. I did just a little bit. I ain't like that on the surface level, but like internally, you ate that. But transitioning into my last point, so I can just basically like wrap this shit up. Girl, Hillary Sanchez. So I don't understand why Hillary has made a whole discourse on like fucking, like if y'all was gonna eat Craig up, y'all really need to be eating Miss Hillary Sanchez up. I don't even know why she still carries the same last name. The bitch needs to go back to her original goddamn name. So what Hillary, we didn't know she was trans. She said she was a hermaphrodite. She said she had both of them. You know what I'm talking about? Both of the little dangly dings. She basically crawled so that way MS.Netta can run. You know what I mean? That was the original awkward ass trans couple. Trans. I don't know if she's trans or hermaphrodite or feminine presenting. I don't know. We're living in an era where there's too many goddamn labels. Whoop-de-whoop-de-whoop. But yeah, like with fucking Hillary, she had like made an entire fucking like discourse on hating MS.Netta every single day. And I'm like, girl, it would have been stronger if y'all would have linked up together than y'all would have been apart. Girl, y'all could have been the two awkward, bad body built, two characters on the goddamn internet, and y'all would have probably taken TikTok by storm. Girl, because we kind of saw the end of Hillary Sanchez once the whole thing dispersed with her and her husband wasn't really her husband, and he really had a girlfriend on the side, because that nigga was fine as hell kissing up on that bald head man, and that was insane. But yeah, I don't understand that. Like, y'all got on Craig, y'all really need to get on Miss Hillary. Miss Hillary needs to find her own thing, because, bitch, you're a character all within itself. We saw you without the wig, and, bitch, it's giving who? Okay, it's giving ow, who at night. And you should have did that. You should have really ran off of that. You should have really ran off of you putting on makeup and wigs. I miss Hillary fucking dancing and shit to music and shit online before there was MS.Netta. Y'all, she should go back to that. She would have probably got a better traction than that than trying to follow this hate train that MS.Netta got. And y'all only fueling MS.Netta because every time we do a video, including myself or her, the bitch wins. She collects a check. And then y'all said that Rolandis, she's getting a check for Rolandis, like a disability check, because we know this nigga can't function. And then y'all saying she getting Social Security. It's so insane to me. I'm pretty much sure these niggas work regular jobs outside of this here internet thing, and they're just collecting checks on the internet. To an extent, I don't know if she's making $10,000, $12,000 on the internet a month, but I do know that she is collecting a check from Facebook. She probably is collecting a check from TikTok. She is moving in the way of influencers. And let me just touch on this. She is going on the Tia Kemp and Tokyo Tony show. I believe that's on Zeus Network, if I'm not mistaken. And they did an interview with MS.Netta and Charles. And then she talked about her having her own reality TV show. And then she talked about being on Love and Hip Hop. So I don't know if that's true or not. We don't know if any of this is true or not, but I can say at the end of all of this, and far as the BET Awards and far as Craig eating her ass up and far as her maybe starting her reality TV show, and then we got Hillary on the goddamn track trying to start a beef to revive her internet career when she should just take that goddamn wig off and dance. Um, Baby, it's entertaining. It's entertaining none the goddamn less. Yeah, that's my thoughts on that. It's out of fucking pocket. Y'all, this has been Talks with TJ. This is the end of the news reviews video. Peace.